Various types of restaurant fall into several industry classifications based upon menu style, preparation methods and pricing. Additionally, how the food is served to the customer helps to determine the classification. Historically, restaurant referred only to places that provided tables where one sat down to eat the meal, typically served by a waiter. Following the rise of fast food and take-out restaurants, a retronym for the older standard restaurant was created: sit-down restaurant. Most commonly, sit-down restaurant refers to a casual dining restaurant with table service, rather than a fast food restaurant or a diner, where one orders food at a counter. Sit-down restaurants are often further categorized, in North America, as family style, or formal. In British English, the term restaurant almost always means an eating establishment with table service, so the sit-down qualification is not usually necessary. Fast food and takeaway outlets with counter service are not normally referred to as restaurants. Outside of North America, the terms fast casual dining restaurants, family style, and casual dining are not used, and distinctions among different kinds of restaurants is often not the same. In France, for example, some restaurants are called bistros to indicate a level of casualness or trendiness, though some bistros are quite formal in the kind of food they serve and clientele they attract. Others are called brasseries, a term which indicates hours of service. Brasseries may serve food round the clock, whereas restaurants usually only serve at set intervals during the day. In Sweden, restaurants of many kinds are called restauranger, but restaurants attached to bars or cafes are sometimes called car paragraph K, literally kitchens, and sometimes a bar-restaurant combination is called a krog, in English a tavern. In Dishing It Out, In Search of the Restaurant Experience, Robert Appelbaum argues that all restaurants can be categorized according a set of social parameters defined as polar opposites: high or low, cheap or dear, familiar or exotic, formal or informal, and so forth. Any restaurant will be relatively high or low in style and price, familiar or exotic in the cuisine it offers to different kinds of customers, and so on. Context is as important as the style and form. A taqueria is a more than familiar sight in Guadalajara, Mexico, but it would be exotic in Albania. A Ruth's Chris restaurant in America may seem somewhat strange to a first-time visitor from India. But many Americans are familiar with it as a large restaurant chain, albeit one that features high prices and a formal atmosphere. Types: fast food restaurants emphasize speed of service. Operations range from small-scale street vendors with food carts to multi-billion-dollar corporations like McDonald's and Pizza Hut. If table seating is available, ordering is not done from the table but from a front counter. Diners typically then carry their own food from the counter to a table of their choosing, and afterward dispose of any waste from their trays. Drive-through and take-out service may also be available. Fast food restaurants are known in the restaurant industry as QSRs or quick-service restaurants. Fast casual restaurants are primarily chain restaurants, such as Chipotle Mexican Grill and Panera Bread. More of the food is prepared at the restaurant than is the case at fast food chains. Fast casual restaurants usually do not offer full table service, but may offer non-disposable plates and cutlery. The quality of food and prices tend to be higher than those of a conventional fast food restaurant but may be lower than casual dining. Casual dining: a casual dining restaurant is a restaurant that serves moderately priced food in a casual atmosphere. Except for buffet-style restaurants, casual dining restaurants typically provide table service. Chain examples include TGI Fridays and Applebee's in the US and Harvester in the UK. Casual dining comprises a market segment between fast food establishments and fine dining restaurants. Casual dining restaurants often have a full bar with separate bar staff, a larger beer menu and a limited wine menu. They are frequently, but not necessarily, part of a wider chain, particularly in the United States. In Italy, such casual restaurants are often called trattoria, and are usually independently owned and operated. Family style restaurants are a type of casual dining restaurants where food is often served on platters and the diners serve themselves. In some regions, alcoholic beverages are not sold at family-style casual dining restaurants. Fine Fine dining restaurants are full-service restaurants with specific dedicated meal courses. The copyright core of such restaurants features higher quality materials, with an eye towards the atmosphere desired by the restaurateur. The wait staff is usually highly trained and often wears more formal attire. Fine dining restaurants are almost always small businesses and are generally either single-location operations or have just a few locations. Food portions are visually appealing. Fine dining restaurants have certain rules of dining which visitors are generally expected to follow, often including a dress code. Variations: most of these establishments can be considered subtypes of fast casual drinking restaurants or casual dining restaurants. Brasserie and bistro. A brasserie in the U.S. has evolved from the original French idea to a type of restaurant serving moderately priced hearty meals, a Euro-French-inspired comfort foods, a Euro in an unpretentious setting. Bistros in the U.S. usually have more refined decor, fewer tables, finer foods and higher prices. When used in English, the term bistro usually indicates a continental menu. Buffet and small paragraph are board. Buffets and small paragraph are board offer patrons a selection of food at a fixed price. Food is served on trays around bars, from which customers with plates serve themselves. The selection can be modest or very extensive, with the more elaborate menus divided into categories such as salad, soup, appetizers, hot intra-copywriters, cold intra-copywriters, and dessert and fruit. Often the range of cuisine can be eclectic, while other restaurants focus on a specific type, such as home cooking, Chinese, Indian, or Swedish. The role of the waiter or waitress in this case is relegated to removal of finished plates, and sometimes the ordering and refill of drinks. In Italy, a kind of semi-buffet is featured in either a tavola corda, serving hot foods, and a tavola fredda, which serves cold food. Either can be found in bars and cafes at mealtimes or in dedicated sites, sometimes with seating and service at a counter. In the United States, Buffets, Incorporated, is a large buffet chain corporation which owns Old Country Buffet, and Hometown Buffet. Hometown Buffet popularized the scatter buffet, which refers to the layout of separate food pavilions. Other American restaurant chains well known for their buffets include Golden Corral, which features food products presented in pans, Supplantation's Sweet Tomatoes, Gatti's Pizza, CICI's Pizza, Fresh Choice, Pancho's Mexican Buffet, Ryan's and Pondaro's a Steakhouse. Sizzler is another prominent restaurant offering a buffet. Café Copyright. Café Copyright S are informal restaurants offering a range of hot meals and made-to-order sandwiches. Coffee shops, while similar to Café Copyright S, are not restaurants due to the fact that they primarily serve and derive the majority of their revenue from hot drinks. Many Café Copyright S are open for breakfast and serve full hot breakfasts. In some areas, Café Copyright S offer outdoor seating. Cafeteria. A cafeteria is a restaurant serving ready-cooked food arranged behind a food-serving counter. There is little or no table service. Typically, a patron takes a tray and pushes it along a track in front of the counter. Depending on the establishment, servings may be ordered from attendants, selected as ready-made portions already on plates, or self-serve their own portions. Cafeterias are common in hospitals, corporations and educational institutions. In the UK, a cafeteria may also offer a large selection of hot food similar to the American fast casual restaurant, and the use of the term cafeteria is deprecated in favor of self-service restaurant. Coffeehouse. Coffeehouses are casual restaurants without table service that emphasize coffee and other beverages. Typically a limited selection of cold foods such as pastries and perhaps sandwiches are offered as well. Their distinguishing feature is that they allow patrons to relax and socialize on their premises for long periods of time without pressure to leave promptly after eating, and are thus frequently chosen as sites for meetings. Destination restaurant. A destination restaurant is one that has a strong enough appeal to draw customers from beyond its community. The idea of a destination restaurant originated in France with the Michelin Guide, which rated restaurants as to whether they were worth a special trip or a detour while one traveled by car in France. Tabletop cooking, customers are seated as in a casual dining setting. Food items are prepared by the establishments for cooking on embedded gas stoves, induction cookers, or charcoal grills. The customer has control over the heating power of the appliance. Mongolian barbecue, despite the name, the Mongolian barbecue form of restaurant is not Mongolian, actually derived from Taiwan and inspired by Japanese teppanyaki. Customers create a bowl from an assortment of ingredients displayed in a buffet fashion. The bowl is then handed to the cook, who stir-fries the food on a large griddle and returns it on a plate or in a bowl to the consumer. Pub. Mainly in the UK and other countries influenced by British culture, a pub is a bar that sometimes serves simple food fare. Traditionally, pubs were primarily drinking establishments with food in a secondary position, whereas many modern pubs rely on food as well, to the point where gastropubs are often essentially fine dining establishments, known for their high-quality pub food and concomitantly high prices. A typical pub has a large selection of beers and ales on tap. Teppanyaki Style, many restaurants specializing in Japanese cuisine offer the teppanyaki grill, which is more accurately based on a type of charcoal stove that is called shichirin in Japan. Diners, often in multiple, unrelated parties, sit around the grill while a chef prepares their food orders in front of them. Often the chef is trained in entertaining the guests with special techniques, including cracking a spinning egg in the air, forming a volcano out of differently sized onion slices, and flipping grilled shrimp pieces into patrons' mouths, in addition to various props. Also referred to as hibachi. Rating of restaurants. See also. References. Appelbaum, Robert, Dishing It Out, In Search of the Restaurant Experience.